everyone, it's Sharonda from Payorwait, and today I'm going to be recapping Succession Season 4, Episode 1, The Monsters. We have finally made it into the final season of Succession. I am happy to be back in this very dysfunctional yet very rich family. So yeah, let's going to go ahead and get into it. For the sake of this review, I'm going to break it up into like 3 different parts. So it's going to be the Raggedy Kids, which is Shiv, Roman, and Kendall. And then we're going to have Logan and all them other people, and Connor. Baby Connor in a league of his own, so we just gotta put Connor separate, cause we just Oh Connor, you've been through so much. Let's just go ahead and talk about him actually, because what I'm confused about is why no one is saying the things that need to be said in this room. Okay, everybody's at Logan's birthday party. That is probably the most depressing birthday party that I've ever seen, because Logan absolutely hates almost everyone that is there, probably with the exception of Carrie. Because I don't understand what her role is yet. I know what the kids be saying, and that's why I be looking like, Carrie, is that your main role? But she said she an advisor, okay? So, I mean, advise then. Advise me, Carrie, as to what your real role is with Logan, okay? But Connor is trying to run for president, y'all. I truly do not understand why Willow, Greg, I don't know why nobody's telling him, like, sir, 1% is still losing, okay? So let's say if you fall underneath that 1% threshold, but even as Greg said, like, I mean, what's after 1%? Because that's the lowest of the low. And I was like, first of all, Greg was gagging a lot of people this episode, and I was here for it, okay? But Greg was like, what's lower than 1%? And so this man is really sitting up here talking about investing $100 million for campaign spending so he can get his name thrown into the election cycle, because he is so hell-bent on maintaining this 1% nothing, this 1% is giving delusional, this 1% like somebody please find Ayanna to help fix his life, as to why no one has told this man stop spending this money. But what took me out is when he was asking Willow, and Willow was like, okay, so if you spend this $100 million, like, are you still going to be rich? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, do your thing, daddy. Like, Willow, I understand that this started as a business arrangement, but there has to be a little bit of love in there for you to tell this man, like, baby, it ain't never going to happen for you. We not wasting $100 million for you to still lose. That don't make no sense. When I was watching, I was like, damn, did I forget something from season 3? I was like, I thought this man had not a chance in hell on winning this election. And when I realized my man's is fighting over 1%, I said, sir, I got some bills that need to be paid, okay? If you need encouragement, baby, I'm going to give you all the encouragement that you need. Because if you just got $100 million to throw away because you just feel like throwing away $100 million, I just don't understand. Okay? So towards the end of the episode, I kind of felt bad for Willow, because he was like, hey, basically he wants to have a cheap wedding so he can spend $100 million on the campaign. But also too, I was like, Willow, what wedding were you planning? Because I'm trying to figure out why he got to ask you to tone down on the wedding so he can spend $100 million. Like, the math just isn't mathing. What type of wedding were you planning, Willow? I know y'all were talking about a boat, but I'm just like, what type of boat was it that he has to worry about wasting $100 million and also trying to plan a wedding at the same time? I just feel like I need a little bit more explanation as to where this money is going and how much Connor is worth, because I know what the kid's about to be worth after this sale with Gojo goes through. So somebody help me to understand, because I'm kind of confused, okay? So let's talk about Logan, because Logan don't give a damn about this birthday party. They singing to him. He could care less. And, you know, Carrie, who is Logan's friend, assistant, and advisor, still need to understand that title, Carrie. When Logan and Carrie looked at Greg like, I know you did not just bring a random to my birthday party with all this family business that we got going on right here. You just gonna bring this random chick, Bridget? I was just like, Greg's in the press talking about, he was like, I really think that things are gonna go somewhere. And Carrie's like, what's her last name? He couldn't give her a last name. And she was just like, sir, what I don't understand is why you feel comfortable to bring this girl who you clearly just met, who you clearly just trying to get in her underwear, to this party when you know all of this stuff that's going on. But Greg said, Carrie, let me tell you something. What you're going to do is you're going to put some respect on my name, okay? Because I am Greg, cousin Greg, honorary kid. And I said, now, Greg, who said you was an honorary kid? And when he said Marsha, and Carrie was like, Marsha is shopping in Milan forever, I'm like, did y'all kill Marsha? Like, I know Marsha, like, I know y'all gave her coins and everything, but I was just like, but tell the truth, Carrie, did y'all do something else to Marsha? Because for you to say Marsha is just shopping in Milan forever, I was done. It did send me, okay? But, honorary kid. I'm still tripping off an honorary kid. I'm so sorry. So, Carrie was asking all the right questions, like, what does Bridget do? What is her last name? How long have you known her? Who does she work? Like, Carrie was asking the right questions to just be a friend, advisor, and assistant to Logan. But it was time who took me out because, okay, every time that Greg says disgusting brothers, it does send a shiver up my spine. It makes my skin crawl. It truly makes my skin crawl. Oh, Time did ask permission, like, if him and Shiv were to divorce, with Logan and Time be cool, and Logan was just like, yeah, we fine. I'm sure he truly does not care if y'all together or if y'all get divorced. I don't even think he cared if y'all got married. I'm pretty positive he didn't want her to marry you in the first place, but it is what it is. He said, you good, we good. Like, that's all that matters. But the way that Time dragged Bridget's handbag, the way my man was going on about how big her handbag was, and really just reading Bridget for filth, it just sent me for some odd reason. But when Bridget came up to them and she was like, I think it's time to go, and I was like, girl, what you do? And then she was like, I asked Logan for a selfie, and I was like, of all the people in the world to ask for a selfie, you asked Logan? And had the nerve to say to, like, the kerching, like he about to come into this money with this whole Gojo sale. I really wish they would have actually shown what that looked like, because I really felt like it would have been pleasing to my soul, and it definitely would have made me laugh. I was like, why Bridget? And I felt like this is something that Greg should have covered in the car. But I do think that Logan is actually sad his kids haven't called him. You know, Carrie's kind of getting a post like, you know, do you want me to send a note to your kids? At the end of the day, like, does he think his kids are ungrateful? Does he think his kids are morons? Yes to both. But they're still his kids. And you want to feel like somebody gives a damn about you, that your own flesh and blood cares about you. So you can tell, and Carrie, his friend, assistant, and confidant, she even saw that it was bothering him. But he tries to blow it off like it doesn't matter to him. He's more concerned about this Pierce acquisition, you know, that he's trying to get things to go through. And so he ends up leaving his own birthday party. He said, well, if y'all ain't got no food that's fooding like that, and I'm not finna sit up here and wait for this raggedy lady phone call, I'm finna get up out of here. But what was even more depressing is him having to go have dinner with his security guard, talking about, you're my best pal. I was like, Logan, honey, baby, like, let me sit you down for a minute and tell you what ain't nobody else gonna tell you. If you sit up here if you're out here on your birthday, your kids ain't called you, your friend, assistant, secret lover, whatever she is just going through business deals, like, and you have to go out to dinner with your security guard and say that that's your best pal in the whole wide world, that's depressing, honey. That is, you need to go make up with Marsha, who could be alive or not alive. She's probably spending her coins in Milan. I don't know, but that just felt very depressing to me when he was like, you're my best pal. And I was just like, for someone who's about to come in so much money and free up so much of his time to have nothing to really show for it, your wife has left you, your kids don't mess with you. It just, that's not a life that I actually want to live. It just felt very depressing to me that is how he's spending his birthday, waiting to close a business deal with none of his close family around him. It just didn't feel like something that I would be excited about, talking about mama, we made it. But we see that later in the episode, Greg ends up smashing Bridget, okay? And he goes to Time. He starts with this disgusting brothers thing. He tells Time the story. Time's in the here acting like he don't care, but then secretly asking for details. But what sent me is the fact that Time was able to convince Greg that Logan was going to see the video and he was going to, like, bring it up. So Greg, in the middle of Logan first finding out that his kids are the other buyers, bidders, like trying to acquire the Pierce brand, that this is the time that you sit him down and you tell him that you smashed Bridget in his house. Like, I just be needing Cousin Greg to read the room. But when Tom asked him what happened, he was like, he said, wait, let me make sure I say this right. Because first of all, he said, Logan said that he finds Greg disgusting and despicable. But when Greg said that he told Logan Bridget is a wacky tobacco, I said, what does that mean, Greg? Why would you say that to him? And then they ended up kicking Bridget out, which I think is highly disrespectful, because I'm just like, shouldn't Greg get kicked out too? I know he an honorary kid and he family, but I just felt like it was very disrespectful. But they end up telling Logan that the kids are potentially the other bidders. And so it was sending me, because Jerry was like, honey, I'm not doing this. I have too much stress in my life than to be the one to go tell Logan what his raggedy kids are doing. So he ends up finding out. He gets upset. And he's like, hey, Tom, get your wife on the phone. Get your wife on the phone right now. And while you got her on the phone, you tell her, okay, that she ain't never had an effing idea of her own in her life. Ain't none of these kids had an effing idea on their own in their life. Because they're basically trying to shove it to their dad. This has been his lifelong thing to acquire the Pierce brand. And for them to try to swoop in and take it from him, I know he was angry. I feel like low-key he was like a little bit proud, but still annoyed at the same time. Like, at least they had the balls to actually do this. But I know he was still pissed at these kids. These kids gonna be the death of him. I'm telling y'all, they ain't gonna die because of these kids. So then they're going into a bidding war back and forth. And so, you know, Logan randomly out of nowhere is like, hey, somebody roast me. And I was like, sir, what? Time and place. Time and place. It's your birthday. We're already scared of you. What are you talking about roast you? So ain't nobody trying to do that. Ain't nobody trying to lose their job. We're not stupid over here. We're not going to mess up a bag because you having a midlife crisis on your birthday. No one's going to do this. But you know who does? Greg. Because you know what? Greg has been lighting everybody up this entire episode. So Greg starts calling him a mean old man. And then Logan's like, hey, does anybody want to smell a finger? Can anyone take a guess of what Greg's finger smells like? Like, probably don't say that wacky tobacco. But every time I think I would say wacky tobacco, I'm like, did y'all write that or did he improv that? But but then Greg went for the jugular. He said, Logan, where your kids at, Logan? Where your raggedy kids at? Logan, it's your birthday and your kids not here. You sitting up here talking about us roasting you, but your kids not even here. He didn't say all like that. He didn't say it with a chest like he should have, but he said it, okay? But then why Logan said, where's your old man at? He's so disrespectful for this. But then on top of that, to talk about he at the country fair probably sucking some peen. I said, you know what, Logan, this why didn't nobody want to roast you. Because you don't know how to take no roast, okay? Now you talking about this man up here sucking everybody off at the country fair. That's how you gonna do, Greg? That's how you gonna do your honorary kid, Logan? I did laugh. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I laughed. Y'all know y'all laugh too, so it don't matter. We're gonna go to hell together. But we see that he tells him to start the bid at $6 billion. And even Tom and they was like, bruh, $6 billion, like I could have sworn we said 7.5. You just try to be disrespectful to be disrespectful. And yeah, so it didn't go in his favor. But we do see the end of the episode ending with Logan watching the news at night on his birthday alone. And basically saying that so Anchor looks like a ball sack with a toupee. So I don't know what that means. We see in the previews for next week's episode or the upcoming episodes of the season that he's going to go to ATN. So I don't know what that is going to spark. But we got to talk about these raggedy kids, okay? So the kids are trying to start a new news platform called The 100, okay? After they got duped by Tom and Greg and their daddy, they decided they're going to do their own thing called The 100. So Shiv, of course, Shiv was always sneaky. Shiv was just a sneaky person. She's always going to weigh her options. So she's talking to the Jimenez transition team because she wants to keep her options open, you know, in case Kendall decides to do something else or Roman or something blows up. She just wants to make sure that she has, you know, all of her options open. And so she ends up reassuring her siblings that she's actually in on the 100 idea. But then she gets a phone call from Tom who lets her know, like, hey, girl, just to let you know, I know we still, like, not in a good place after me helping your daddy play you at the end of season 3. But I had drinks with Naomi Pierce, and just in case you hear anything, I just wanted to ask permission. And I said, but Tom, how you asking permission after something already happened? Like, to ask permission means I'm asking you permission before something happened, but you had already had drinks 24 hours prior. So I was just kind of confused. Shiv was confused, but I was confused why Shiv was so upset by it. Because I was like, last time I checked, Shiv, you don't give a damn about time. So I'm confused that you were reacting the way that you were reacting over the phone. I just feel like it was a bit much for someone who truly has never really cared for her husband, okay? But one of the things that I did like, it's nice to see the siblings together actually getting along as they were pitted against each other for the majority, actually for the first 3 seasons of the series. But it was nice to see them tell them, like, hey, hold off on the meeting to check to make sure that Shiv was doing okay, with this news about Tom and Naomi. But then they get to thinking, like, hold on now. I just saw that one of the Pierces is at Dad's birthday party. This can't be a coincidence. So they end up realizing that their dad is about to make a pivot. Their dad is about to make a run to buy their company. So they pivot from the 100, which Roman was like, y'all, we did all of this for nothing. Like, we spent all this time building this brand, and now y'all just want to go do the whole Pierce thing. And he reluctantly agrees, because I just don't think he wants to go toe-to-toe with his dad. I think that really messed him up. Like, I think he felt like his dad was taking him serious. His dad asked him to trust him. He didn't. Now he's in this whole predicament with his siblings because of it. And I just think Logan just like, Roman's just like, I don't want to do all of this. I don't want no stress in my life no more. Y'all sitting up here always trying to stick. You trying to get back at your husband being petty. You trying to get back dad being petty. I'm tired of being petty. I just want to live a life of peace, honey. I want to do the 100, okay? I just want to move forward. I don't want to move back. I want to move forward, all right? So they eventually end up convincing him to go in with them to pursue the acquisition. So they're getting the numbers together, and then Carrie calls, like, hey, do y'all want to tell y'all daddy happy birthday? And they was like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you because I thought my dad's peen was in your mouth. And I was like, Shiv. And then Carrie is like, she said, what that hoe say? She didn't really say that, but I'm saying that's kind of what she said. And then the fact that Shiv actually repeated it to her, no, Roman repeated it. I was like, y'all are just the pettiest people I've seen in quite some time. And she basically said, like, hey, I think it would be really nice if you called your dad. And they're like, is he going to call us with an apology? And then she said, I'm getting to text you requesting a call. And they said, hell to the no, click. And then they said, you could put his peen back in your mouth because we done and we not calling him. F that hoe. They didn't say that, but I'm just saying. And then we see that they fly to meet with the family. It's an awkward hello between Naomi and Kendall. They kind of go back and forth, and because Logan underbids them, underbids the value of the company, it ultimately ends up going to Shiv, Roman, and Kendall for $10 billion, which I was like, the only people that won in this episode was the Pierce family, because it was just like, do y'all know y'all daddy was only offering 6 and was really only gonna go for 7? Maybe at an 8.5, and then y'all did 10 billion. Y'all didn't want to say no money for yourself. Roman was asking the right questions, like, y'all do realize y'all just throwing in an extra 500 million, like that's just easy money to be throwing in. So, Roman was confused just like I was confused. But I was like, hey, man, you won, honey, because these kids is dumb. And then when they daddy called and said, congratulations on saying the biggest number of y'all effing lives, you morons, I felt that in my spirit. I was like, he right. Y'all just stupid. But they were so happy because they so hell-bent on just sticking it to their daddy that they was excited about it. But it was a really interesting scene between Tom and Shiv as Shiv goes home to pick up some clothes. The dog don't even recognize her scent no more. That's how long she's been gone from the house. And Tom tries to have a conversation about what has happened. Shiv doesn't want to talk. She just want to let it go. And I'm just like, Shiv, it's clear at this point that you're highly upset. Talking about, I heard you, the disgusting brother, you've been smashing models and this and that. And then it's clear that you're upset about what's happened. But of course she says, well, maybe it's just time for us to move on. And Tam was like, well, can we just talk? And then she was like, no, I don't want to talk. And I was just like, you're saying no, but you're crying and being all emotional. So I just feel like you do want to talk. And Shiv is just her own worst enemy. It's clear she's hurt by what Tom has done to her. but she doesn't want to have to relive that he got one over on her, even though she's been hella disrespectful for time for the entire like duration of their relationship and marriage. But because he got this one off on her, this girl done cheated, did all types of just crazy stuff. I was gonna let this man go to jail for her raggedy ass family, and you just gonna leave him after that? I mean, good riddance, bye bye, Shiv, because I'm like, Tom, you deserve so much better. But I was just like, it just bothered me. One time I was like, well, you want me to try to make love to you again? I said, not try to make love. You can't make love to her still? Damn, is that far gone? I was like, wow. But she was like, no, thank you. And so it's sad, but I wish they could have actually talked. I wish that Shiv had the capacity to actually have an adult conversation with Tom, to talk about why Tom did what he did, and for her to own a little bit more of accountability for how she's always treated Tom, how she's kind of just, she's been very disrespectful at times. It's hard for me to even feel sorry for Shiv. I don't care about these little crocodile tears that she's crying, because I feel like she's been had it coming. And she's lucky that Tom the type of man that typically doesn't even do stuff like this, okay? So I thought that whole conversation was interesting. I think it will be actually interesting to see how that relationship plays out as they're going through their divorce. Will it be amicable? Will it get nasty with everything that's happening between the kids and their dad, and Tom being kind of like close to Logan's right-hand man? I don't know what's going to happen with that, but given the sneak peek that they gave and what's to come with the episodes for the rest of the season, I'm sure it's not going to be this. I don't think Logan's gonna take this defeat easy. Okay, so I can't wait to see what Logan has up his sleeve. I can't wait to see the dynamic between Shiv and Tom's relationship. I think it'll be very interesting. And what I'm most excited for season 4, and I would love to know what you guys are excited for this final season. Somebody has to definitively win or lose, and I also need someone to tell me what Carrie's actual title relationship is with Logan, because his friend assistant advisor is not doing what it's doing. It's not doing what you think it's doing, Carrie. So yeah, I would love to know that. I was really excited for this episode. I think this sets us up for something very crazy, but I hope that we actually have stuff happening every single episode. It's the final season. We're not doing no more seasons. I don't want no filler episodes. No filler episodes, okay? I just want chaotic mess, petty mess every single episode, okay? So yeah, overall, I like this episode. So in love with the score. I could listen to the score all day, every day. Just beautiful, beautiful music, okay? But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what did you think about the season premiere of Succession Season 4? What are you most excited about? Who are you most excited to see in this final season? But those are my thoughts of Succession Season 4, Episode 1, The Monsters. As always, my name is Sharonda from payorwait. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again.